All right, we are back with another Pick'em video. Today is Saturday, January 18th. I know there's football going on, but we're going to be talking about the NBA in this one. Definitely a couple picks out there that I want to break down for you guys. It is a 6-game slate. Before I get into any picks, I always go over the recap of yesterday's video. Always transparent over here. Want to know how I've been doing, so you're not just randomly thinking and tailing maybe a guy that doesn't know what he's talking about. Also going to be talking about the back-to-back situations, any teams that might be on a back-to-back, and then kind of on top of that, any sort of injury news so you guys don't bet on a line that might look really, really good or really, really bad, and then you realize that someone's injured or someone's returning or something like that, and just pointing that out to you guys. So that's what we're getting after for in this one. If that sounds interesting, hopefully you guys stick around. If you're new around here though, definitely go ahead and subscribe. Leave the video a like, comment something down below. Whenever you guys do that, it tells YouTube to push this video out a little bit more. Trust me, I know football's going on. I'm going to be watching it all day as well. But yeah, this one's going to be specific for the NBA. We're going to be making football plays in the Discord community. So if you want access to all my slips and the fun community where we're always chatting about sports, check out the links in the description down below. All right, so quickly jumping into the recap of yesterday's video, you see 5 check marks there, you see 4 X's, so very mediocre day, but one of those checks was a triple-double plus 160 play for Nikola Jokic. Over his 21.5 rebounds and assists and a triple-double we also sprinkled in there. He got that in 3 quarters. It was a great matchup for him. We broke it all down, and he came through for us, again, easily. I don't think he played the 4th quarter, but he had that early. RJ Barrett over 10.5 rebounds and assists. He crushed that. He had a ton of assists. Remember, we talked about Emmanuel quickly being out and how that definitely adds to his assists. I think he had 8 assists or maybe even 10 assists in the game. Didn't rebound well, but that's why we did the rebounds and assists. D'Angelo Russell revenge game was a lean. We didn't have his lines out, so I didn't know if I was going to really hammer it. His lines came out super low, and he crushed his lines. So it wouldn't have been a lean if I knew what his lines were going to come out at, but he crushed that. We definitely attacked that in the Discord community. Jason Tatum over 25 points. He had 30. He cooked early, had 20 points at halftime. Also sprinkled in a plus 100 play on his double-double. He did not get there for us. It was a blowout situation, 20-point and 25-point victory over the Magic at home. And then some of the bad guys here, DeJounte Murray over 15.5 points. We talked about it. He's been shooting horribly throughout the season, but he started to crank it back up, shooting 43% over the last 10 games. He's a 45% shooter for his entire career, 45.4, even more than that. And he just hasn't been shooting all too well this season. We thought, if he's going to be starting to shoot a little bit better, this looks like a really good line and a really good matchup. He shot 22.2%. So DeJounte comes up short there. He only had 8 points. Rui Hachimura I thought was going to come through for us. Had 10 points with about 5 minutes left in the game. It was the Austin Reeves show. He scored like 40 in the win. But yeah, Rui comes up just short. He had 10 points. He went over his PRA though, which we also attacked on a different slip. And then Brook Lopez was a lean. Yesterday it wasn't a full pick. It was a lean. He ended up with 9 points in the blowout win for them. So again, more checks than X's. Not the best day in the world, but definitely some profit, especially if you guys trickled in that triple-double for Nikola Jokic. So we'll take that any day of the week. We're always going to try to go for profit. Never going to complain about profit over here at all. But yeah, pretty solid reads overall. And let's jump into some injury news. And now into any sort of injury news or lineup news. Back-to-back sets. The Celtics and the Timberwolves are on a back-to-back. No one in the injury report for the Celtics just yet, but keep an eye out for Porzingis, Jaylen Brown, guys that have missed some time so far this year. Drew Holiday, Al Horford, also older guys. That could provide some value if one of those guys is ruled out eventually. And then for the Timberwolves, Dante DiVincenzo didn't play yesterday, so could be ready to go for today, but he also could be, not playing again. Guys like Mike Conley, the older dudes, also just keep in mind that they are in a back-to-back set. For the other teams, though, the Phoenix Suns, Bradley Beal is doubtful. We found some value in Tyus Jones when Bradley Beal missed. Also, guys like Ryan Dunn have been playing pretty well. Grayson Allen, Yusuf Nurkic will continue to be out, and then Nick Richards is not available. I spelt that completely wrong. He's is not available. He is available. They traded for him recently, and he should be ready to go. Looks like he'll be in the starting lineup as well potentially. So Nick Richards' lines, Richard is available. Detroit Pistons, Jaden Ivey will continue to be out. Obviously, he had surgery recently, so guys have been getting some boosts for sure without Jaden Ivey. Malik Beasley, hopefully a spot to potentially look at in terms of a bounce-back spot. Tim Hardaway Jr. also playing really well without him. Atlanta Hawks game-time decisions. Jalen Johnson could be returning. Trae Young and DeAndre Hunter are probable in the game against the Celtics, so definitely keep an eye on those guys. Philadelphia 76ers game-time decisions. Paul George and Gershon Yabusele. Joel Embiid, Kyle Lowry, and Caleb Martin will be out. So this could be a very, very good look for a guy like Tyrese Maxey if the matchup is good, which I'll look at in a little bit here. I'll definitely mention Tyrese Maxey if the the matchup does look good. For the Wizards, Malcolm Brogdon continues to be out. For the Golden State Warriors, Kuminga, Podziemski, also Kyle Anderson, all out for this one. Draymond Green looks like he's a game-time decision. He probably will play. I think he has a probable tag, actually. Cleveland Cavaliers, Evan Mobley popping up on the injury report. Haven't seen him there in a while, I think since mid-December or so. So after a bad loss to the Thunder, maybe he gets a little bit of a rest. Houston Rockets, Jabari Smith Jr. continues to be out after his injury. He's been out for a few games, so we have some data on that. And then lastly, the Portland Trail Blazers, game time decision for Jeremy Grant. That's big news for guys like Anthony Simons, really anyone on that team. Denny Avdia also doubtful in this one, so the kind of big news to look out for here. And then Donovan Clingan also going to be out for this team. All right, so the first play I want to talk about here is going to be Jaylen Duren, over 19.5 points and rebounds. I was looking at his points. I was looking at his rebounds. I think he's in a good spot for both of them. As you can see, Phoenix allows the 29th, or ranks 29th in terms of points allowed to centers, 27th in terms of rebounds allowed to centers. Now, Yusuf Nurkic is out of this game, and they did just recently trade for Nick Richards. I'm going to go into the specific matchup against Nick Richards because Jaylen Duren has actually played him 7 times in his career, and he's played pretty well against him. So I think these numbers will stand, especially in a matchup that he's played pretty well against. But Duren's over this in 47% of games. Doesn't look too amazing. He is coming off a very, very good game with 17 points and 17 rebounds against Indiana. He played Phoenix earlier this year as well. He had a great game in that one, 17 points and 11 rebounds. Also had a decent amount of success last year against them. But again, he's probably going up against Nick Richards in this one. And in games he's played Nick Richards in his career, I pulled it up over here on StatMuse, he's actually gone over this in 6 of 7 games, or maybe, 7 of 8 games, however many games this is. He's only missed in 1 game, and he had 8 points and 9 rebounds. Every other time he's played really, really well matched up against Nick Richards. So love what I'm seeing from Duren here. I did do the little write-up here to kind of sum everything up. Like I mentioned, 29th in terms of points allowed to centers, 27th in terms of rebounds allowed to centers, and then to add on top of that, Phoenix ranks 29th in terms of defending putback scoring opportunities, which Duren gets 21% of his points from. Without Jaden Ivey as well, who's going to be missing this game, he's averaging 21.9 points and rebounds, and he's over this line in 5 of 8 games. So I do think Duren's got a good spot here. I think he's going to get a decent amount of minutes, especially the fact that he's played really well against Nick Richards in the past. And this is going to be the first play, 19.5 points and rebounds, taking the over for Jaylen Duren. Next up, I want to talk Tyrese Maxey at 27.5 points. There's actually only 2 books out that have him right now that I can see, 27.5, and some book has him at 26.5. So if you can find this at 26.5, that's even better. But there's a ton of injuries for the 76ers, like always for this one. Drummond's going to be a game-time decision. Paul George is going to be a game-time decision. But we know Joel Embiid's going to be out. Jared McCain is obviously going to be out. Even guys like Caleb Martin going to be out. Tyrese Maxey should be jacking up as many shots as he can handle. Hopefully this isn't a huge blowout situation, because if Maxey gets the minutes, he's going to put those shots up, and that's the stat that I'm looking at here. So he's only over this in 14 of 32 games so far this season. He is over in 5 straight games, so he's been cooking. You can see the shot attempts have been awesome. He's averaging 21.2 shot attempts per game, which I love to see. Without Joel Embiid, though, this goes up to 22.7, and then without Joel Embiid and Jared McCain in the lineup, he's actually over this 27.5 line in 6 of 8 games, and he's shooting 24.4 shot attempts per game. I dug a little bit deeper. There's going to be a ton of injuries here. They're going up against a high-paced offense in the Indiana Pacers. I'm going to show you the game that he played against them without Embiid so far this year. And Paul George was out of that game. He had a really, really good game. But first, in games that he shot at least 20 shots per game, we see his average is 24.4 shot attempts per game. If Paul George is out, we've only seen 1 game with all those guys out. And guess who was against? Or I guess it wasn't against this team, but it was against Washington. He shot 27 times. Long story short here, in the 18 games that he has shot 20-plus shots in a game so far this year, again, 18, pretty good sample size. He's over in 15 of those games, and he's averaging 31.3 points per game. So I do love to see that. Add on the fact that he played this game without Paul George and Joel Embiid. Both guys might be missing tomorrow. He scored 45 points against them. So I do love this matchup against the Pacers. It plays right into his hand, allowing a lot of points to the point guard position anyway. But if he's going to jack up at least 20 shots, I expect even more. Again, over in 15 of 18 games where he's getting at least 20 shots. So really liking Tyrese Maxey. Again, not a lot of books have his line out right now, but the 2 I'm seeing, 27.5, 26.5. If this is at 26.5, this is awesome value, but I would definitely take it still at 27.5. And then wrapping up this video, I know only 3 picks for this one just because it is late Friday night. There's not a ton of lines out. Guys I want to look into, the lines just aren't out yet. And I know a lot of people are focusing on football, so just going to stop at 3 for this one. Hopefully you guys find some sort of value in this. I'll definitely be looking at the board more tomorrow morning when I wake up. But we're going to be looking at a guy that's one of my favorite players to watch in the NBA right now, a dude that's been getting a ton of run. I'm talking 40-minute nights. He is a highlight reel for sure, and it's going to be Thompson over 25.5 points and rebounds. He's got a perfect matchup here going up against Portland. So as you can see, points allowed, rebounds allowed, both green, 24th in points allowed, 21st in rebounds allowed. But when you dig a little bit deeper, how does Thompson get his points, and how does Portland do well or poorly on the defensive side of the ball? Well, he's not a three-point shooter at all. He shoots like 1-3 a game or something like that, and he shoots horribly. He does all of his damage in the paint. 65% of his shots come from the restricted area. The defensive ranking for Portland, 26th in terms of defense in the restricted area. So that is a perfect matchup for him. Other things, transition is the main source of scoring for him. He got 2 quick dunks to cash one of our 6-mans the other day in back-to-back possessions. He's a super, very fast player. He's like one of the fastest players in the league. He does a lot of his damage in transition. 27% of his points. Geez, I'm tired. 27% of his points come from transition. They are ranked 29th in terms of transition defense. So 2 things right off the bat looking amazing, even just past the points allowed and rebounds allowed. Now, you can see the hit rate doesn't look amazing, 34% of games so far this year. You can also see the massive uptick in minutes here. I don't know what the Rockets were doing earlier on the season, kind of similar to last year. They don't play him sometimes. He's not going to be able to do well. When he gets the time, though, he is able to put the ball in the basket, and he's able to rebound in bunches as well. So the last 10 games or so, he's getting at least 30 minutes. In most of these games, almost 40 minutes. And as you can see me change this toggle of minutes played per game, you can see it just get better and better in terms of a hit rate. 65% of games, he's over this in at least 30 minutes played. If you go to 33 minutes, 73%. If you go to 35 minutes per game, 80% hit rate. So he's very consistent at hitting this. No Jabari Smith Jr. for the Rockets today, and he's getting a ton of time because of that. But also, I think they finally see like what they have in this guy. He's an absolute stud, and he's playing right into the hands of the defense of Portland, who allow a ton of isolation and a ton of points in the paint. That is Thompson's bread and butter. So 25.5 points and rebounds for Thompson. That will be the final video pick. All right, so quickly going over the recap. Sorry if I seem tired. It's like 2:30 a.m. right now on Friday night, so I am tired. But I'm really liking these 3 plays. Jaylen Duren over 19.5 points and rebounds. Tyrese Maxey over 26.5 points. It might be at 27.5. I like them both the same. Thompson over 25.5 points and rebounds. Those are the 3 video picks. No leans in this one. Again, I'll be looking at the board tomorrow. Definitely not tonight. I'm going to bed. But tomorrow, hopefully finding some good value, and we'll definitely be betting on some football as well. So if you're interested in joining the community, definitely check out the links down below. If you're interested in getting access to Outlier for a free week, that's the tool I was showing off in this video. They got a free trial using the link in the description down below, and any of my other tools. There's plenty of different ways to get into the community for free. It's all outlined in the description down below. But we've been having a whole lot of fun. Here is what we've been doing so far in January. That's 4 straight days of profit, 70.1 units in January. We've been absolutely destroying. It's been insane. We don't win every single day, but it sure feels like at the last 4 days or so, and hopefully not slowing down. The reads have been really, really good. I've incorporated some different methods of looking into lines, specifically how defenses not only allow points or allow rebounds, but why they allow these certain things, and it's been really, really good for us. So hopefully you enjoyed the video. Again, definitely check out the links down below. Leave the video a like, comment something down below. It tells YouTube to push this thing out a little bit more, and of course subscribe if you are new. I'll catch you guys tomorrow for some more plays, and if you're in the Discord, if you want to join, I can talk to you in there. Peace out.